Hi, sorry for the break in transmission. Life happened, so I had to take a break. Today I'm going to be talking about IV tubings. But before we get into that, a quick announcement. So a friend of mine advised me to be putting all my content on my Facebook page since most of the people interested in my content are on Facebook and hardly ever get to YouTube. So starting from this video, I'll be doing that. I'll put the full content on my Facebook page. I'll also do the reels and I'll put it on YouTube for those who can access that. So that's it. Let's dive in. So for IV tubings, we know what it is. We use it to deliver fluids into the patient. So let me go over the big differences between our IV tubings and the IV tubings they use here in the United States. So first of all, one is that they use pumps to run their IVs. That's IV pumps. They use pump. They don't just use gravity like we do. We attach it to the bag and then connect it to the patient, and gravity will help move the fluids down into the patient. But in their own case, they use IV pumps, to control how much goes into the patient and all that. So there are instances where they also use gravity, but mostly they use the pumps. Then number two is that they use secondary lines to run the fluids. What I mean by that is instead of the straight ones we have, from the bag straight to the patient, they have a shorter secondary line, something like this, which they attach to the primary line. Let me do it quickly. So the secondary line, they attach it to the primary line like this. And then you have two spikes. So one goes to the primary line, one goes to the secondary line. The secondary line is above the primary line, and then it infuses first into the patient, and then the primary line will keep infusing. So the idea is that the primary line keeps the vein open so that you don't just give maybe your antibiotic and then turn it off. The primary line will keep going before and after you give the antibiotic. So these things are clearer when you are doing it practically. So the idea of this video is just for you to have an idea that this is how they run theirs. There are some fluids that they run straight, but most times they have secondary tubings that they use. So that's another big difference. Then another difference is that there are different types of IV tubings. For our own, we just have basically one type. And that type is you spike the bag and then you have a clamp, a roller clamp. That's something like this. And then it attaches to the patient, straight to the patient. But theirs is that it's more complex. They have different types. This is just one type. This is just one type. It's just that this is more common. This is what I have used. So you see this one, it has ports that you can introduce your secondary line here, or it has more ports down the line where you can either take something from the line or put something. You can inject a medication from it and you can take the fluid from it. And it also has other kinds of clamps like this. This is a clamp, so you can clamp it at any place. And then also this is the slide clamp that you use to attach it to the pump. Our own does not have this one, so it attaches to the pump with this. So you put this in the pump and then you thread this through the pump. So that's how it works in their own. So they have different types apart from this very one I'm showing you now. Another type is, there's a type they use for delivering narcotic medications. So that one is made up of a harder, made up of plastic, so you can't puncture it. You know, you can't puncture it, and it doesn't have these spots, so you can't take anything from it. All these things is just measures for drop control. You can't take anything from it. It's made of plastic. You cannot put a needle here and fetch some medication from it. So that is a different type. Then the lengths also, there are different lengths. There are different lengths. There are some that are actually longer than this one I'm holding right now. And then another difference is that some of them have filters. The filters are put just under this chamber, drip chamber like this. Then another difference is that they have vents. Some of them have vents, like this is a vent like this, so air can go into this. You know that thing we do that we puncture the bag with the needle, so they don't do that. So this takes care of it. So there are some that do not have the vent. So those are the different parts. So this video is already six minutes, so I'm going to stop here. I'll do a subsequent video to explain the parts. Thanks for listening. Like, share, subscribe, and follow for more.